Howdy, folks. Greyhawk444 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Let's talk about the elephant in the room for today. Whose turn in the box is it? Is it EA's? Is it Activision Blizzard's? Nope. Today, it's Bethesda's turn again in the box. Oh my goodness gracious. I really don't understand. I need to rephrase that, because I actually do understand corporate America, and that's the problem. Corporate America doesn't understand its customers. They think they do, but they don't. And maybe they understand a portion of them, but not the majority. So by now, I am sure that you have seen any number of other YouTubers that don't have a full-time job jump on and grab all the views already by doing all the videos about Fallout 76 having a subscription model now for a game that nobody wants to play. Just a quick perusal. I saw heel versus babyface. I saw the quartering. What do you call it? Joe, Angry Joe, Legacy. I mean, all of them have already grabbed all the views up because I was, us little YouTubers that have a full-time job. We're at work when shit happens, and then we can't do a video. All the guys that have already made it on YouTube, and that's their job, they can jump right on it and monopolize all the views. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? Maybe one of those days I'll be one of those guys that doesn't have a full-time job, and I'll be able to break news when it's breaking. But until then, you get a second-rate reaction to the breaking news that happened a few hours ago. So I don't know what more. I really don't know what more I can add in utter disbelief that Bethesda, and we don't need to go through the laundry list of everything they've done wrong with Fallout 76, but just to recap, they most recently said that there was supposed to be an update come out now that would actually add the NPCs into the game that really should have been in the game from the get-go. And they've been touting it as the big update where you're gonna have NPCs to interact with again in the game, which we really should have had all along. Well, they just announced here, was it end of last week I think it was like Friday, or of course they dropped it on Friday, I think it was, that's going to be delayed until the first quarter of next year now. So they not only say we're not going to give you the update that the game really needs to justify the asking price that we're already asking for it. We're not going to do that until next quarter of next year. But then today they dropped the news that they're going to be asking for a subscription fee if you want to play on private servers, which will allow the modding community, of course, hopefully. I believe that's the whole idea behind what they're going to do here. They're going to let the modders on the private servers mod the game however they want to actually fix a lot of shit that Bethesda should fix. And then they're going to charge $12.99 a month or $100 a year. You get a break if you do it for a full year, for $100. And they somehow believe that after dropping the news that, oh, sorry guys, we're not going to be able to do the update that you really, really, really want and really, really, really deserve. On top of that, we want some more of your money. For the game that's broken as it is, we want more money if you want to play on a private server with mods and all that. And then part of the subscription thing is that you get like unlimited storage, etc., which probably should have been in the game anyway from the get-go, but now you got to pay for it. It's going to be behind a paywall. And it was trending on Twitter today as a nationwide trend all day. Bethesda was trending. That's how, and I dare you to find me a positive tweet from anybody in response to this. They were all memes and shit about how many different ways can someone laugh at somebody, that kind of thing. I bet the one entity that did probably tweet out something positive is probably Activision Blizzard. They probably did, because the minute this shit dropped, they were probably thinking, as they were in the middle of trying to figure out how they're going to spin everything at BlizzCon about Hong Kong and all that, and all of a sudden, wait, what? But Bethesda did what? They're going to charge a subscription for Fallout 76? Break out the champagne, boys. We're off the hook. I mean, that's probably, if anybody sent out a positive tweet, it'd be Activision Blizzard's PR team, right? Because now the heat's off of them, hopefully for a while. That's what, in their mind, that's what they're thinking, I'm sure. Even though I saw something, just before I did this video, I did see something that they are, this is what I saw. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I believe it is going to happen, that they're canceling the Q&A at BlizzCon. I believe I saw a thumbnail from Jeremy on the quartering to that effect, and he's usually pretty damn accurate. So I haven't completely confirmed it, but he's very seldom is he ever wrong. So it sounds like on top of this news by Bethesda today, then Blizzard went ahead and canceled the Q&A for BlizzCon because they don't want to answer questions. Obviously, they're going to come up about Hong Kong and everything. So it's one shit show after another, folks. With the exception of Project CD Red over there quietly, doing their thing and having their GOG store and having their sales and all that and staying out of the radar, except for them. So anyway, there's that. Of course, it's a joke. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to add any more to what everybody else has already said. It's obvious. So let's talk about our campaign, our D&D campaign back here. We played again Friday, and I've been very busy at work, so this video should have been done probably Monday or Tuesday. But here it is today. And we had a partial table. We had one or two people that couldn't make it, but it didn't stop us. We went ahead and, if you remember, our party had all these different factions that were trying to gather information and get us to investigate all these strange dealings that have been going on with the crazy gnome capturing the sun, and this weird possible time-traveling dude named Dave that is trying to get us to gather some materials together for him for his ship. And then my hierarchy in the church, I'm a cleric, and the hierarchy in the church feels that there's somebody trying to open up portals for evil, like for demons and stuff to come into the realm and so forth. And so we took up on Friday, and we went to, we were already in this one town where we had had some leads and so forth, and we started asking about, hey, have you seen any just weird type of unusual individuals that are not normal to the area? Have you seen anything like that? Have you had any reports of any weird music? Because that's the one common denominator that we've been having in our adventure, is we keep going to places where it ends up being inherent absolute evil, and there's this strange rhythmic weird music playing, almost like a hypnotic type rhythm to it and tone and so forth. And we all had to roll saving throws first time we heard it to see if it affected us, meaning that we were averse to it, that we couldn't stand it, we wanted to get away from it, or we were accepting of it and it didn't seem to bother us. I failed my saving throw, so my character can't even deal with it. I mean, he just wants to plug his ears whenever he hears it. It makes him he just wants to get away from it. Everybody else in my party, with the exception, I think, of one other person, they all saved, and they don't seem affected by it. So, or they're fine with it, or whatever. So we ask around about this, and somebody tells us, oh, by the way, yeah, there's like this weird group of, for lack of a better term, hippies that showed up, and they're hanging out in the woods. They don't seem to be bothering anybody. They're just kind of weird, and they're out there in the woods. And there's been reports of this strange music playing out there where they are, and they're just weirdos, is the way it's being reported to us. So we figure, okay, let's go investigate it. So we go out there, and we have our assassin in the party. We stay back. We're smart. We stay back from the compound, and we send the assassin in under stealth, under darkness, and he's able to sneak up to the one actual physical structure. There's like a cabin that's there, and then the rest are like tents. But the one physical structure kind of in the middle, we assume is going to be like the important building. If there's somebody important, they're going to be in there. He sneaks up, looks in the window, and sees these weird demon-like creatures on both sides of this guy sitting in a throne, and they look just like, one is like black and like slimy and all this, and another one is, if I remember correctly, he's like skeletal or something like that. And so he comes back, tells us about this, and we're like, okay, we need to report this to the Temple of Alcirion, see if we can get some help from the clerics there, instead of just us. Let's go see if we can get some help. So we go back, I report it to my higher-ups, and sure enough, they're interested in it and say, yeah, tomorrow morning, let's send you guys along with a group of, we'll send some guards and some clerics to go confront these guys out there. So we do. Next morning, we're heading out. We've got, I think it was 4 guards and 3 clerics, one of which is a higher level cleric, and he's kind of in charge of them. And so I say, my character says, hey, let's talk tactics before we get out there, how we're going to do this or whatever. And I get completely dismissed as, oh no, we're just going to go right up and knock on the door and confront this guy and say, hey, what the hell's going on in here? What kind of demonology shit are you practicing or whatever? And I'm thinking, no, that's a bad idea, because like that's going to give them time to react and so forth. I'm thinking this, in my mind and everything, because he won't listen to me. So we go, sure enough, and they knock on the door. Somebody answers, and of course everything inside is normal. Of course it is, because they either saw us coming, or as soon as we knocked on the door, whatever it was, shape changed back, or whatever, he dismissed the spell, whatever the hell he had to do to make it look normal, he did that. And so we go in there, and he does the whole thing. Well, what do you need? Oh yeah, come on in. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, sure, come on in. Nope, haven't seen anything weird. No, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know why you guys are here, but I'd like it if you'd leave. That whole type of thing. So our magic user in the group decides, okay, this is bullshit. I don't believe this guy, and I think the only way to take care of this is I'm going to cast Stinking Cloud on the whole room. That's what our magic user does. So, of course, we all have to roll saving throws, and I get to roll for all the clerics. I roll like 2s and 3s. Everybody fails, except for one guy. One guy, I think, made it. Thank goodness. Everybody else failed. Literally, everybody else fails. I think the magic user, I don't think he has to save, so he didn't have to save, or he did save. I can't remember. Because he wasn't affected. The rest of us are all puking and incapacitated and all that stuff. The guy on the throne's not affected, of course. And he says something to the effect, well, I wish you hadn't done that, now I'm going to have to release them. And so the assassin, he did not go inside, so he was not affected. He was outside, smartly. And he sees one of whatever the guy says, I'm going to have to release him, whatever it was he released. These weird demon-looking creature, amalgamation type creature things. The assassin sees one of those and takes off and just books it. He's like, he sees everybody's down inside, he sees this, and he just books it. The magic user, if I remember correctly, goes outside and is confronted by another one of these demon creatures, so there's 2 of them now. And he is trying to cast spells and do what he can against that thing. The assassin has, all of a sudden has a feeling come over him that he can't abandon his friends. He's got to go back. He goes back and starts battling this one creature or whatever. Or he tries to assassinate it. I think that's what it was. Tries to sneak up on it and assassinate it or whatever. And I think he does while the magic user is getting his ass kicked. And then he goes around and helps him. So the bottom line is, we survived the thing, killed the 2 things or whatever they are. One of the one cleric that saved started pulling guys out one by one that were down and puking and everything. He started pulling them out to fresh air, and when it all comes said and done, the head cleric guy or whatever comes back in, and the guy on the throne, which I believe was an elf, says something to the effect, I want you to leave my home now. I didn't do anything to you. You attacked all of us, blah, blah, blah. And so the cleric is like freaked out and everything, and he's like, yeah, we're getting out of here, and starts to hightail it out of there. And this is where the DM starts to crack up, because my character immediately knows how this shit's going to go down. What's going to happen is the classic, they're going to go back, and it's going to get spun that this guy didn't really do anything. Our magic user started the whole thing, and we're going to get blamed on not only the stinking cloud thing, we're also going to get blamed on the 2 creature things. That's going to be our fault too. And so we're going to become the villains. They're going to be, they're going to say that because there was no evidence of the demons that the assassin first reported when he looked in the window. That wasn't, everything was normal when we walked in there. And then it was the magic user that started everything off, and then everything went to shit. So we're going to become the bad guys. I can already see that's what's going to happen. And of course the DM's cracking up, because my character is voicing this, saying, oh, I see how this is going to go. Yep, they're going to go back and they're going to say it's all our fault. Yeah, and then we're going to get locked in the stockade or some bullshit. It's going to be our fault. We're going to be the ones accused of whatever, witchcraft, demonology, some shit, and so we end up making camp. We stay out in the woods somewhere and make camp, and that's where we ended it. So whether or not my character's paranoia will come to fruition, if he'll be vindicated or not, we'll have to wait and see. I hope my character's wrong. I hope that we go back and they believe us that, yeah, this guy was evil and he must have summoned those crazy looking things when he said something about releasing them and all this. Hopefully it goes that way, but I have a feeling. Now, spoilers, if you haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home, spoilers, 3, 2, 1. Just like the end of that movie where, if you remember, Peter Parker gets blamed by Mysterio, I think the guy's name was, because of how he edited this video that he took of Spider-Man saying things to make it sound like he's the one, that Spider-Man was the one that released the Infernals and all, or the Elementals and all this stuff, and the drones and all that, and that's how the movie ended, was that he twisted it around and made Spider-Man to be out the bad guy. I have the feeling that's the same shit that's going to happen to our party, that we're going to be the ones that get blamed, how it gets twisted around. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was I wanted to show you this. You've probably seen this in the corner there the whole time. But I got to show you guys this. Because I kind of collect Millennium Falcons. And this is the new pop vinyl Millennium Falcon with Han Solo. And it's an Amazon exclusive, and it is huge. Next video, I will have it out of the box, because I'm going to display it. But that thing is badass. I don't collect a lot of pop vinyls and all. I have a few. And I do have a few Star Wars ones, because I'm, of course, a Star Wars nerd. But this one, when I saw that, and I was like, it's gigantic. I had no idea it was going to come out. I was going to be this big when I ordered it. So I got to figure out. I have no idea where I may have to hang it from the ceiling with fishing line or something. I don't know. But next video, I'll have it out of the package so you guys can see it in all its glory proper. Let's see. Yeah, like the video, comment below, the whole bit. And until next time, guys, we will catch you on the flip side.